C. Bettendorf.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Quad City sports fans of all ages, ESPN 93.5 and Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, Jaybird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad City. But first, the Dawn.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're here at Rhythm City Casino and Elite Sportsbook. I got an echo here, Klinger. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. ESPN 93.5. We're on Facebook Live as well. So leave comments there. Serge is at a golf outing. T-Roy's on assignment. But I got Matt Rodriguez next to me. M-Rod, we like to call him, right? Is that what we're going by?
Yeah, just here trying to hold it down for you today.
I appreciate it. We're going to have some guests later on. We're going to have Mo in, the general manager of Rhythm City. We'll have Alex as well. But Matt and I are here to talk about some sports, some gambling, and let you guys take a look at, over this we are right when you come into Rhythm City right now, across from the resort club, and you check in the hotel. And to our left is where you go to the casino. To our right is a draft day lounge and the Elite Sportsbook. You walk right up there. You can place a bet. I made a little wager on the Cubs money line today. Matt, what do you think about that?
I do like the Cubs are playing well the last couple games. I also like the under today. Lester had a couple rough outings, came back strong last one, and the wind's blowing in today, so I like the under today.
What I like about this is that, I know it's kind of trying to strike while it's hot, but 14 of the last 17 at home. And, of course, the big win, the sweep, and the big win the other night, the 12-11 victory. The lefty, Lester, on the mound. So it was a minus 130. Put a little wager on it. Figured since I was here, I got to go ahead and get after it. Matt, you were here on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was here for the UFC fights. And it was actually a really good time. It was a turnout. A lot of TVs, so you got to get a lot of action. The line at the betting ticket wasn't long, so it was a really good time, and I'm hoping they get more fights in the future.
Well, the good thing is we get to talk to Alex, the sports betting manager, and we'll get to talk to him about future fights that they have here, and as well as if they're going to be doing boxing. And because I know it was busy in here.
Oh, yeah, it was extremely busy. Luckily, me and one of my other buddies walked in, and we were able to get 2 bar seats. But by the second fight, all the tables were full. It was pretty much standing room only.
Well, and that's one of the things we want to talk about, because in the future, because I know Alex told me when I talked to him about the UFC that I said, what's going down? How do we do it? And he said, just get there early. They weren't taking any reservation or anything. So, like you said, you were lucky to grab 2 seats. I know there are plenty of people that told me that people waiting outside just for people to leave to come in.
Yeah, I didn't go out much except to place my bets. But I will say, when I walked up to the line to place your bets, the lines were going pretty fast, so it wasn't like you were waiting for the fight. It was easy to get your tickets and your bets in right away.
And it's just, it has a lot to do with the Iowa Gaming and Iowa Racing Gaming Commission and getting the app up and running. And I know you and I talked about off the air, but when the app is up, you'll probably be more likely to place a wager on a Wednesday night game than you would any other time.
I feel like, especially the casual bettor, if you go home after work on a Wednesday and you got to run all the way out here to actually drop the money and place the bet, it takes a lot of time. And, you got to get home and shower and make dinner. But if you're able to just jump on your phone right when you get home from work, it makes it a lot easier. So I'm really looking forward to that myself.
All right, Matt, we got to get to know you, though. That's what the Houslers want to know. Where are you from originally?
Born and raised Davenport, Iowa. So right here.
What school did you go to?
I went to Davenport Central.
Davenport Central, okay. And then, so you still live in Davenport, born and raised here. So let me take a guess here. I'm guessing Cubbies.
That's correct.
All right, we're going Cubs. This worked, and then I'm pretty sure Bulls. If you had to do an NBA team,
I'm actually probably going to take a lot of heat for it.
All
but
right.
I'm not a huge NBA fan,
That's
but
fine.
I'm a big LeBron guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Any reason?
Well, he graduated a year or two before me, and I've been watching him since he was in high school, and I felt like everybody built him up to be so good, and he kind of did it, and now it's like tear him down time. So.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, they're supposed to be so good. And that's the age where now you get to get the arguments of the LeBron or Jordan type of thing. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't jump on LeBron right away, is because they were never going to relinquish that Jordan is the greatest of all time, no matter who comes.
I agree. Well, my big thing is with the Jordan LeBron argument is it's a lot about eras. Like, I can't sit here. I was born in 87. I can't sit here and say I watched Jordan's whole career because I didn't.
Okay.
But I did see LeBron's whole career.
Yeah.
And as far as a whole career, who's the best player I've seen, it's LeBron, but I'm sure not everybody's going to agree with that.
So I know, like you said, you don't follow too much, but do you kind of just follow the team and you just follow his career?
I follow his career, and I mean,
All
I'm
right.
a pretty big sports fan, so I know who's who, but.
So here's the next one for you. Is it the Bears?
Absolutely.
Born in 1987, so you did not get to see the 1986 Super Bowl.
I did not. I did watch Peyton Manning throw the ball over us, though, in the Super Bowl. So.
In 2006 Super Bowl. Yeah. All right. So tomorrow night here at the Rhythm City, they have the Chicago Six Band, and the Chicago Six Band was formed during the strike of 1987. There's a 24-day strike, and some people crossed the picket lines. Roughly 15% of the players crossed the picket lines, and some didn't. And those like Dan Hampton, Otis Wilson, Steve McMichael did not, and they formed a band, and they got the band back together, and they're going to be here tomorrow. And if you sign up to become a Resort Club tickets, you can meet them tomorrow from 3 to 5, so you can meet Dan Hampton, Otis Wilson, Steve McMichael. Do you know who those guys are?
I'm not going to lie, not really. I do know who Steve McMichael is because of his seventh-inning stretch escapade with Angel Hernandez.
Okay. I thought you were going to say because of his time in the WCW, but when he was a part of the Four Horsemen.
Do you remember the seventh-inning stretch?
I don't, no.
Oh, that's there was Angel Hernandez was up in the plate, and he made a questionable call. So McMichael came up to sing the seventh-inning stretch later on, and he kind of called him out over the air, and I don't think he appreciated it too much.
It didn't go over well.
He got kicked out.
He got kicked out. The best part about this, I mean, Dan Hampton, great defensive end for the Bears and that defense. Otis Wilson was on there as well, and Otis Wilson has got he's got an entire rap in the Super Bowl Shuffle. So I got to meet him. I've got just show you my age. I've got the original 45, not a cassette, not a CD. I've got a 45 of the Super Bowl Shuffle from the '85 Bears and Otis Wilson. So I've got to get him to sign it. And I got to get him to do the rap. It's going to be down to my claim to fame, kind of like when I got Mr. T to do the monologue from Rocky III. So, all right. So we got LeBron, LeBron, the Bears, the Cubs. Do you follow hockey?
No, I do not.
That's all right.
I do not.
Because neither do I. You're from Iowa. That's the thing. I mean, there's some people that follow hockey. I would just feel like in Iowa we wrestle, so it's one of those crazy things that I mean, it's hockey's hockey. So, college-wise.
Iowa. Huge
Okay.
Iowa fan. Basketball, football. I'm really excited for the season to come up here soon. And I actually just seen that the basketball had released their schedule
They just
earlier
released their
today.
schedule. Yeah, it actually just came out about 11 o'clock today. Do you get up to a lot of games at all up at Kinnick?
Kinnick, not so much. I usually do catch a couple at Carver. Kinnick, I do love going to the games, but it's kind of one of those things where if you go to one game and you miss all the other games all day. So
Okay. So you got the Iowa Hawkeyes. How did you become such a big sports fan?
honestly, I just was born this way. It's probably my dad.
Yeah.
If everybody asked me, when did you become a Cubs fan, a Bears fan, Iowa fan? I don't know. It just happened that way. That's just
All
how it
right,
is.
so 87. So you were, let's see, you're about 16 during 2003, right? During the Bartman year.
Yeah.
So what you in between there? So before that, there had to be something. Maybe about 6 years before that, that you were like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm going to be a Cubs fan, because I believe in '98 or '99, '98 they made the playoffs.
'98 they won the wild card.
Yeah,
they had
they
to
won
play
playoff.
the one-game playoff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So was that it? Was that we're like, all right, I'm all in now?
Honestly, it's just been forever. It's just how I am. Even when they were terrible, which has been the majority of my life.
Yeah.
I've always just been a big fan.
What kind of fan are you? Are you a Yell at the TV fan?
Oh, yeah. I'm a
Really?
cuss, throw stuff fan. Oh, yeah.
And how did you get into the UFC?
UFC's actually probably been more recent the last couple years. It kind of helped, I think, when they would put the smaller fights on cable as opposed to having to buy everything on pay-per-view.
Okay.
But I wouldn't call myself a UFC elitist or anything like that.
I don't know if there are anymore. There used to be. There really used to be, and I think it just kind of went to the wayside. And this is going back 15 years when everybody was a big. This would have been like your senior year in high school, and so right around your senior year in high school, and that's back when I was teaching at West, probably when you were at Central. So I would always have this icebreaker where it was like, oh, what do you want to do in 10? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You know, first day of class, by the way, it's first day of class for students. And congratulations on everybody who posted pictures of their kids. We all know they're going back to school, but good job. So I would always, and then I have kids that would say like, I'm going to be a UFC fighter, you know, and they would know a lot about it, a lot more than I did, and they'd, oh, why don't you follow it? And it was like, I don't know, it's not really my thing, but I mean, I've gotten to know a lot more people in it. Obviously, Pat Miletich and the Bob Father knows a lot about it, so I follow him, and I talked to a friend of mine, Julian Lira, about it, and now we've had, you know, exception Sean West on and whatnot, and Mike Goodwin's on, and, you know, congratulations, Ryan Delph will be fighting this weekend down in Burlington. So I kind of know a little bit about it, but I still am like, nope. Like this weekend, you bet on almost every fight, right?
Yeah. Well, I do got my cousin and a couple buddies have fought for Craig's Aggression before, so
Okay.
They followed a little better than I do. But I would say one of the big parts of me watching it is, I mean, what better is there to do than bet on two guys beating each other up? So.
So how did you do on Saturday?
Well, I was doing really well on the early fights, and then I probably had a couple too many bush lights.
Yeah.
So I kind of dumped it all on Cormier, and that didn't turn out so well. So I probably broke even between my bets and my beer money.
That's what we call. When I do a parlay, that's what happens when you over salt and peppered the recipe for the night. You know, you started playing with house cash.
Oh yeah,
that's what happens. All right, well, before we take our break or whatever else, how this whole thing went down with Matt and I. Matt, I put something up there, Elite Sportsbook. Matt said, you're the worst sports. I bet you're the worst sports show on radio at minus 5,000. I said, good bet. And it really, honestly, Matt, I don't want Matt to, or anybody out there to think like I am upset at all. I'm not, because the whole show is don't hassle us, we're local. And it is because we know we're not former professional athletes, and we're not guys that sat in a booth or anything like that. Or you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
yeah.
the whole thing was just like, good bet. And we just kept going back and forth. And finally I said, do you want to come on the air? And you were supposed to be on last week, but schedule didn't work out. And I'm a man of my word. Come on in. I don't think we've ever turned down anybody. And I think even in the thread we were talking about with other people, I was explaining to you, I was like, you're going to come on, you're going to be, you know, you're going to have fun. And it's not like, I don't know, I don't think, it's not like a thing where I'm like, hey, come on here, see how hard it is, because it's really not. It's a general conversation. So, really, though, so you don't like my National Day of the Year segment?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of the national segment. Dude.
It is really to strike you. You know that, right? To strike your audience. To get people
I'm sure.
To,
well, you got your comments. You did it.
It's the and then also when we do like the top 5 Tuesday, we make a top 5 list out of it. My favorite are the comments when it's just like, who has the credentials to make this list? And it's just like, I just made a list. That's all. You know, it's National Blueberry Muffin Day, and so I decided to rank the best muffins in the Quad Cities. You know, who bakes them, and someone gets all upset. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I get it. You know, content's content.
Yeah.
You got to get it where you can get it.
But it's a conversation piece.
Oh yeah.
You can walk around. You know, it's a water cooler. You're like, hey, did you know it's
Well, you started one, and you got me to say something, and now look, here I am.
Yeah,
So
National Pirate Shirt Day. I don't know. I haven't even looked at National Shirt Day today. I'll make sure during the break that we talk about it. And then you're not into the WWE at all.
I am not. I used to be back in like the Stone Cold days.
Okay. During
Mankind.
the Attitude Era.
Those days, but not since then. The Rock. Once The Rock started doing movies, I was pretty much out.
You can go ahead and say it. You can say when you were a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid. When I was about 14, that's when
yeah,
I
you can say I got older and I don't have to stop following it.
Then I got into actually gambling on sports, so that was probably my
things
problem.
that aren't predetermined or anything like
WWE.
that. No, I completely get it. And like I said, the whole show is more a conversation, and I think you understand that. And like you said, it was a comment, and it got it going. And I really think for a while there, you didn't think I was serious about having you on.
No, I definitely thought you were full of it. I definitely did. Facebook Live. I'm a pretty big Facebook troll, so I just usually say stuff, and I don't expect anybody to respond to it. So I wasn't really expecting you to respond at all.
We run into that way too much, though. And the other thing is that we've got a strong group of people that are loyal listeners or whatever else. And even if I say something, we had somebody last fall, I can't remember, it was something about Iowa, just really just trounced our show for Iowa. And I was like, all right, well, and I think it was something about the rest of the season over under. And I was like, well, where do you see the losses are? And I mean, I went to bed and people were just hounding this guy. And it's, like you said, you have your friends, and we have the Hasslers that, they'll stick up for us. But I don't take it personally because, I mean, we're honest with ourselves. Don't hassle the local. We're here to be hassled. It makes it better.
75% of the people that say stuff on the internet are saying it because it's internet. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
You don't actually got to back it up or anything, so that makes it easy.
But we're going to have to take our first break, and we will be right back. So when we come back, we're going to have General Manager Mo from the Rhythm City, and we're going to talk to him for a little bit. So we're going to our first break, and I'll be back with Matt Rodriguez as my guest, too.
It's time to bet. Place your bets with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort. We're Iowa-based, locally owned, and Iowa's preferred sportsbook. Football, baseball, college, or pro. Bet anytime, anywhere in Iowa. Visit Draft Day Sports Lounge at Rhythm City Casino and start betting now. Online betting coming soon for active Resort Club members. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City Casino Resort now to join. Membership is free. Make every game better with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort. Subject to RGC approval. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
ESPN 93.5 wants you to be an insider. Access great contests and giveaways and be in the know at ESPN935.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged, and ESPN Quad Cities. From local to global, ESPN 93.5 has you covered with your Quad Cities sports talk show. It's Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Talk sports with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Serge, and you. Weekdays from noon to 2 on ESPN 93.5.
ESPN 93.5 is the Quad Cities sports leader and home of your local sports show, Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 93.5 Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 93.5 app or going to ESPN935.com. From the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
O'Reilly Auto Parts offers O-Rewards points in-store and online. Earn points on everything from replacement parts to tools and accessories. And for every 150 points collected, you'll get a $5 reward. Earn points any way you shop. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Nobody does spicy chicken like Wendy's. So all hail the Queen of Spice.
All hail the Queen.
And the return of Wendy's Spicy Chicken Nuggets. That's right.
Bring them back, bring them back.
You asked, and now they're back, which means you don't have to settle for those knockoffs anymore. These are the real deal. So hurry into Wendy's now and satisfy your spicy craving with the original Spicy Nuggets.
Bring them back.
Get a free 6-piece and taste the spice that started it all when you mobile order through the Wendy's app. We got you.
For limited time only. Mobile purchase required.
You've served our country and community. Now it's time for your award. Bring your military or first responder ID to Daisy Dukes any Wednesday night and get in free. You put duty first. Now it's time to see some free Daisy Dukes is the area's gold standard in adult entertainment. Open 7 days a week with weekends till 4 a.m. Daisy Dukes is 18 plus and always BYOB. Grab some friends and head to Daisy Dukes, I-80 and Northwest Boulevard. Online at DoubleDOOKS.com or on Facebook.
Golick and Wingo in the morning. Dan Lebitard when you get to work. Don't hassle us. We're local for lunch. Spend your day with a Quad City sports leader. ESPN 93.5.
Killed me. Hello? I can't hear a thing. I can't hear a thing. All right, here we go. I'm back. We're back. All right, here we go. I'm back. All right, welcome back to Don't Hassle Us. We're local here live at the Rhythm City Casino in front of the Elite Sportsbook. Here with Matt Rodriguez. He's standing in for me. We're going to be joined here in a minute by Mo. But, all right, just want to go over some scores from last night. The Chicago Cubs beat the San Francisco Giants, swept them. The score was 1-0. Hendricks got the win, improved to 9-9 in the year. The Cardinals won 6-5 over the Colorado Rockies. White Sox beat the Rangers 6-1. Later on today, starting this afternoon, we're going to have the Cubs hosting the Nationals. Lester on the mound, 10-8 on the year, 4.23 ERA. Royals travel to Cleveland tonight. Jacob Junis is going to be on the mound for the Royals. Minnesota hosts the Tigers. Welcome back, Gardy. Jose Barrios on the mound for the Twins, 10-6 on the year, 3.37 ERA. Brewers host the Diamondbacks, Cardinals, and the Rockies tonight at 7:15. All right, well, in just a minute, we're going to be joined by Mo here. I'm going to wave him over. Mo's coming over here now. We're going to talk to the GM and thank him for coming out and taking time to talk to us here today on the show. Mo. Good to see you. Have a seat, my friend. Speak close to the microphone. If you want to, you can put the headphones on, but I think only the left one's there. But can you hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, Mo, thank you so much for having us out here today. This is Matt. This is Mo. This is the GM.
Matt, how are you, man?
Matt was out here Saturday night for the UFC fights.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay.
So he was here Saturday night for the UFC fights along with a lot of people. I know you had a busy night out here on Saturday, but, well, more importantly, you just got past 2 months ago your 3-year anniversary out here at Rhythm City, and already, I mean, the things that are changing here, the things that you're bringing to your event center, and now sportsbook gambling, I mean, it just keeps growing and growing out here. Talk to me about the place.
Oh, it's incredible. You know, our move up here has just been absolutely amazing. I mean, we positioned ourselves very nicely in terms of being really visible. We just celebrated, like you said, a 3rd anniversary up here, and our location just lends itself very nicely where we'll be able to bring a lot of people into this community that are traveling up and down the interstate. We offer a lot of different types of entertainment.
Yeah.
We've had awesome shows up here.
Yeah.
We have great groups. We have Charlie Daniels coming up next. And right after that, we have America. So
oh, really?
We're excited about that.
Horse with no name. Yeah, America. And then this weekend, you've got the Chicago 6 band.
And we do. So, you know, sports betting, as you know, got approved last week.
Yes.
Essentially, and it got rolled out. And we were one of the 9 properties in the state of Iowa to go live with it.
Okay.
So we have a point-of-sale systems that's set up right behind us for sports betting. And it gives our customers another opportunity to really come and try something different. And it really has been really popular. We had, like you said, a UFC event here last Saturday, and this place was just absolutely packed. I mean, we introduced a lot of great folks in here that had never been to the property, and they really enjoyed our facility.
Now, Mo, was that your first televised UFC? Because I know you've hosted some things out here, like it's either MMA or boxing, but was that your first televised UFC here?
Yeah, it absolutely was, and we're working on bringing more shows here, not only UFC but other big sports here as well.
That's great. The idea of having in that event center to having those things is something that, I mean, we only really see it at the River Center, so you're bringing it more up to this area, and you're giving it people a different venue in case, I mean, this is a whole, like, for people just in the Quad Cities alone, this is like a resort for them. If they wanted to watch that, they could stay at the hotel, do some gambling. They can place a wager, get something from the Draft Day Lounge, and if they're here on Sunday, watch the football game here at the Draft Day Lounge as well.
Yeah, look, so, this event center has just been an amazing addition for us because we bring all sorts of great entertainment names out here, and we're bringing people as far as Chicago, Minneapolis that are coming here, traveling here to watch some of the great acts we bring in to watch. And we think that as we start televising some of these big shows, the big games, we believe that we're going to continue to get a lot more folks in here.
Now, Mo, yourself, how did you get involved in the casino business?
Oh, I started way down a long time ago, probably before you were born, Jay.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I started down at the President back in 1991.
Okay.
When it first opened, so.
I remember those days. I was born. Trust me. So you started all the way back then, and you've been.
I started all the way back then, and worked for the Isle.
Uh huh.
And I worked for Prairie Meadows out in Des Moines.
Of course.
Caesars Entertainment, and now I work for the Keels.
Are you from here originally?
I've spent most of my life here. Yeah,
okay.
Up here from Dallas.
Okay. And did you move up? Did you move up for the original casinos, or?
Yeah, it was a combination of both family and this new opportunity that I was in the hospitality business.
Yeah.
Gaming was absolutely new, so I got a call saying, "Hey, you want to come and try this?" So yeah.
You want to come to Davenport, and you're like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. No, that's fantastic that you've been doing it that long, since 91. And I remember, honestly, I do remember what a big deal it was to have the riverboats when it happened. And I feel the same way about, when the sports, you guys now having sports betting, Iowa becoming the 11th state to have it. I think it's such a big deal that that we are allowed to have this, a new type of thing to have in your casino.
We can talk about the impacts of gaming, too.
Sure.
It has been quite the economic engine, because I think about when I first moved here, I was coming out here in the late 80s, and everything was boarded up down here, if you recall. If you go downtown Davenport and some of the other cities around, it was tough. But you look at it today, it's a vibrant community, and it's not only gaming, but the community has really rallied behind just the economic development, and we've come a long ways from where we were 28 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. 28 years ago, when it was, to get on a riverboat to this. This, like I said, this is a full-on weekend. This is a getaway here.
It's a community. I've raised all my kids here. It's a great place to be.
That's awesome. Anything else coming up? You said you've got some more bands, or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, we're going to be rolling things out because, again, this is a very new endeavor for us, and we have a lot of exciting things going on, and we're fully prepared to launch and really bring to our customers what they want to see and experience here at our property.
Well, I tell you what, it's great, and we thank you so much for having around. We're going to bring in Alex now, but Mo, thank you so much, and congratulations. It's wonderful here. Congratulations on 3 years, and congratulations on the sports book.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Alex. All right, we're going to bring in Alex in. He's the sports book manager. We're going to talk to him a little bit about this past weekend. We talked to him on the phone on Tuesday. Talked to him a little bit about this, the UFC, the future, what they're going to be doing for UFC, and things that they're going to be having on, and what week 3 preseason and whatnot. Alex, thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
It's good to people they're used to your voice, our listeners, but they're good. They're happy to see you on Facebook Live as well. We were talking about Saturday, the UFC. Are there plans in the future to have more UFC events?
Yeah, we certainly want to. It was a good turnout, and we think it would be even better in the future.
Now, the thing is you were that busy, and you told me ahead of time you better come out early. Is there any type of thing eventually putting together a VIP package for a VIP table or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a few ideas. In the future, we would want to maybe open the rhythm room and get another couple hundred people in. The rhythm room's off the casino floor in here.
Okay.
But that's definitely an option for the future where we could do something.
Where's the rhythm room located off the casino floor?
So when you walk onto the casino floor,
yeah.
it's on your left-hand side.
Oh, you're talking about where the bands are or whatever else. Oh,
yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Have seating out there and watch that. That's great.
Yeah, we have a 216-inch projection TV in there that we're able to watch stuff on too.
Wow, that's something to look forward to then. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Make sure you keep me in so I can write something up for you and keep promoting that. Anything else, like boxing? The sky's the limit, really, for what you guys can do here.
Yeah, certain boxing events we would certainly be interested in. There's not many huge name people in boxing that would necessarily draw a huge crowd.
Yeah.
But for the bigger events like maybe Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder rematch, we might be able to do something for that.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, certainly.
All right, so this weekend we have a couple football games, college football, and a couple FCS as well. Iowa's going to kick off in 8 days, and then you got the NFL. What kind of specials are you guys going to be running for the NFL? What can we tell the people to come here to sit and place a wager and watch a game here? What kind of special are we going to be?
We'll certainly have food specials, drink specials, and draft day sports lounge for all NFL games. We're getting the Sunday ticket, so we'll be able to show every NFL game regardless of what team they are. We'll be able to watch all of them.
This is an important question. The Sunday ticket, is that going to be throughout the casino, or is it only in draft day lounge?
I think throughout. We don't have as many TVs on the casino floor. So
Yeah. But you have that gorgeous TV out there that's right next to the main bar that you can actually place a wager. You can go sit there as well, as if you, because it's more of a reclining type of atmosphere than if you want to sit there. Yeah.
And we can either do one large TV up there or 6 separate TVs.
Okay.
So just depending on what games are on and stuff will dictate what game we have.
So it's going to be all over in here. Yeah. Ooh. That's a big cable bill.
It is, certainly.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it.
Got to make sure a lot of people get out there. All right, so what have we been seeing on recently for gambling-wise? I know when we talked to you on Tuesday that it really made a flip to UFC, but are we getting anywhere, anything new as far as futures or over-unders, or what have you been seeing lately?
Yeah, there's been some good future bets on like the NFC North, that division. Seeing some Bears Super Bowl wins, Packers to win the division, Bears to win the division. Just a lot of good future action right now in the NFL.
So to win the division right now, I'm looking at the sheet. I just pulled it up. So when you come into the sports book and you walk down the main entrance here, the POS is there, and to the left you can pick up sheets from anywhere from your college football futures to your pro football divisions and your daily sheets as well. And I'm looking at the North right now, and the Bears are 5-6 to win the NFC North. They opened at that. And there's not much movement at all in the NFC North changing anything. I'm trying to see if there's anything in the South that may have moved. And even with the Andrew Luck, the injury concern there's not any movement. I will be interested in the NFC South, depending on the MRI of Cam Newton, to see if any changes there. Right now, the Carolina Panthers are 3-1 to win the NFC South. And I would be interested to see if that changes and the Saints actually move up in there. So, any strange requests? I mean, I know when we had talked to you on Tuesday, I wanted you to come up with the Jay Foster parlay that if you do 5 or more, and if you go 0 for 5 like I did, we can rename it and you get your money back. That fell on deaf ears. But has there been any other strange requests?
I did an interview this morning, and they asked if they were doing dodgeball. So
Okay.
I didn't know there was professional dodgeball, but apparently that's an avenue out there somewhere.
There is, but I think it's only on the Ocho when they have it on once a year on August 8th. Or I think this year they had it on August 7th. But I've seen it once on, like, Access Television. But it was like the World Cup of dodgeball, and it was insane. And it hurt my brain. So, but somebody asked you that?
Yeah.
They weren't serious, though. They were just trying to see how far they could push it.
I think they were, yeah. But we had a request about college lacrosse.
And that person was serious?
Yeah.
Interesting. We need to talk to you about college wrestling.
College wrestling.
Yeah, if we can get numbers on the national championship. I know actually we do have listeners out there that will bet it and that do follow college wrestling quite a bit. So have you seen a lot on the Iowa football over-under this year so far?
Yeah, people obviously in this area are really engaged with Iowa football and even Iowa State football. But yeah, there's been good action on over-under on that. A lot of people going over.
Yeah, Matt, pull the microphone towards you. All right, we're looking at 7.5 number, Matt. What do you like here at Iowa?
Oh, I actually did my Iowa plays yesterday,
Love
and
it.
I think I had them at 8, but there's a couple close games because I do got them beating Iowa State, but I do think they're going to go into it as an underdog, so that'd be a tough road win. I got them beating Penn State, which I would take as about a 50-50 game at home. And they just always seem to do, every year it seems like they beat somebody ranked that you wouldn't think they'd beat, and then they lose to somebody you didn't beat, or
True.
you would think they'd, beat. But I did end up having them 8-4, so I'd go slightly over, but I wouldn't put my confidence really high on that one.
Really?
No. I just feel like the Big Ten West is it's a tough division. I mean, a lot of the teams right there are lumped together. I mean, Wisconsin's good. Nebraska's going to be up and coming this year. Minnesota's better this year. Illinois is basically a pushover. But other than that, I mean, I feel like every team is pretty solid on that side.
Are you seeing anybody else in the Big Ten West, Alex, that people are putting money on? Really? All right. Who do you see coming out of the West, though, Matt?
Oh, I would go to Iowa winning the division or the Big Ten West, but like I said, I don't feel too strong. I feel like Wisconsin and Nebraska are going to be right there to the end too. So it's really going to come down to it's going to be a lot of close games. Iowa kind of caught a tough break with their schedule. Nebraska's schedule is a lot easier on the crossover games than Iowa's. So I wouldn't be shocked if it was Nebraska, but I would take Iowa if I had to put my money on it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of the optimist. I go in way too high every year in Iowa, and I'm fine with 8-4. I know some people aren't. Are you? Now let me ask you: are you a Ferentz fan? Are you a? Because when social media comes in, if you're saying that you can be a troll on social media, the civil war in Iowa fans is Coach Ferentz.
I'm absolutely a Ferentz backer. I argue with my buddies about it all the time because a lot of them are, it's time to go, it's time for change. But I don't know who you think you're going to get that's going to come in here and consistently win 8 games. I mean, every few years we're going Orange Bowls. So it's not like they have any terrible years, but everybody seems to, I think he's just kind of run his course on some people, but I don't think they know. It goes downhill really quick. You look at a program like Nebraska, they were up and up for years and years, and then they go in the dumps. I mean, they got a new coach this year, but I mean, all the Bo Pelini years were awful for them. So, I'm a Ferentz backer. The only thing that scares me is I do think when he's gone, it's going to go to his son. So,
Again, don't be scared of that.
I will give Brian the credit for he has in the last couple of years opened up the offense. It's not a run 35 times a game. They fake punted more in the last 3 years than I had seen in the 29 years of my life before that. So.
Yeah. The only thing about Coach's son, Brian, the thing that kind of throws me off is his haircut makes him look like he could be in part of the Nasty Boys, who are WCW tag team wrestlers. You guys don't get that reference, but his haircut really does look like that, so kind of throws me off a little bit. Alex, you got a big night tomorrow, 3 to 5. You can meet Dan Hampton, Otis Wilson, Steve McMichael. 5 to 7, you guys are going to be giving away a bunch of Chicago sports memorabilia.
Yeah.
Things like Anthony Rizzo signed bat, Javier Baez, signed program for the Blackhawks. What else do you guys have out there?
We have a Khalil Mack jersey that's autographed and a helmet. Mitch Trubisky autographed poster. There's a Tim Anderson bat and a Tim Anderson poster also.
And that's going to be 5 to 7. You guys do that like every 15 minutes, I think?
Yeah, starting at 5:15 is the first drawing. And then, just every 15 minutes until 6:45.
And you can do that by signing up to become a Resort Club member?
Yep.
And then you get one entrance to get in there, right?
Yep, every Resort Club member can get one free entry for that drawing.
And people getting excited to see Otis Wilson jam on the...
Yeah, we actually have had a bunch of emails and stuff of people from Chicago who are going to be driving down
Oh, that's great.
Participate in that.
I'll be here tomorrow for it. So come in tomorrow, sign up for it. If you haven't gotten your Resort Club, do it. And come up here, get your tickets. I don't know, do you guys still have tickets left?
Yeah.
Because you get two free tickets if you sign up for your Resort Club.
Yeah, Resort Club card and a valid email, you get 2 free tickets.
And then you can get to sign up for sports memorabilia. They give it away starting at 5:15. 3 to 5, you get to meet Dan Hampton, Otis Wilson, Steve McMichael. And, stick around in between, make a bet or two, and then you get to see the band. Alex, anything else?
I don't think so. We're just looking forward to the weekend.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you real soon. You have a great day. All right, Matt. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty here.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, so the NFL, did you make any wagers? Do you have anything for do you have anything for the futures?
I have not.
Over-unders or anything like that?
I have not laid any actual purchases down yet, but I do have, there's a couple that I feel pretty good about. Currently, this is a sheet I got last weekend, so I don't know if the lines have moved, but I did have the Ravens are 8.5. I'm not seeing Lamar Jackson doing it. Like I don't know. Everybody's big on this. He's athletic and that. I just don't see it happening this year for the Ravens. I don't think they're that good.
But they could easily come out 3-1, and that means they only need 5 more victories in the next 12.
They could easily come out 3-1, but that's easy. It's easy to say that now.
Yeah.
I got the Lions under 7. I just don't feel like the Lions are an 8-8 team. So I mean, I feel like worst case scenario they go 7-10 and you push and get your money. I don't see them getting to 8-8. Not in that division. Not with those 6 crossover games. Not playing the Packers twice, Bears twice. I don't see that happening. One over I do like, which kind of surprised me that I would take it, was the Chiefs over 10.
Yep.
Like that's a team where I just feel like they're better than 9-7. So they go 10-6, you push, and they can easily go 11-5.
And it's not bad juice there either at -120.
No, not at all. Another team I feel like is going to struggle pretty bad this year that I like the under on is the Redskins, 6.5. Again, I don't feel like they're a 7-9 team. They're not that good. I don't know if they're going to play Haskins at QB or not, but he's not ready to go. I'm hard pressed to name one wide receiver on that team. You got one?
I don't have Haskins coming in until the last 7 weeks of the season. So I have him taken over. I don't have him taken over till then.
And usually, if you got him coming in week 7, the first 6 weeks didn't go so hot.
No, and when you bring up a receiver, no. The only one I is Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed, yeah. I mean, if he can play. I mean, he gets concussions. It seems like every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I actually seen he just got one the other day.
I really don't know a receiver. The only one I know now is the only one I ever remember is Pierre Garçon. Only because every fantasy football draft you're in, when you bring him up, someone says Garçon means boy in reference to Pulp Fiction. So I honestly, I couldn't tell you a receiver off the top of my head of the Washington Redskins. No, you're right.
But as far as NFL over-unders, those are the only ones I feel really strongly on.
Well, good. I mean, good. I'd rather you have ones that you're stronger on than just like that are just a flip of a coin type of thing. Because people need to go out there and get a little bit of push, and then that way they can always come back, watch the show, and blame you for when they lose money.
Oh, of course. Might as well blame me. Yeah. That's what everybody else does.
You got a list over here, topics.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about give me some topics.
I was actually, I seen you guys posted it on the Facebook, last night. What do you think of Urban Meyer to the Big Ten Network? What do you think of Urban Meyer in general? How about that?
Okay, I am not a big Urban Meyer fan, and I wasn't a big fan of his when he was at the Florida Gators. I wasn't a big fan of his when he brought up that it was heart issues, that he left Florida. I wasn't a big fan that he started automatically negotiating in Ohio State in his first year for ESPN, and then they took him off the screen and made it sound like, no, he's not into that type of thing. He's not doing that. I think he's a crook. So I'm not a big fan of his. I mean, it's just I don't know where he ends up next, to be honest with you. But I don't know if it's Cincinnati Bengals or something weird or in Ohio area, but I mean, it's the announcing crews really don't bother me that much, though, to be honest with you.
I'll give it to you. Whether he announces or not doesn't really bother me either, but I've just always hated Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
I kind of the same way with you. I don't really buy into the whole heart problems. Well, he left Florida so he could spend more time with his family. So he went and spent a year with his family, and then he was good.
Yeah, but he's in the studio in the East in North.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. And then even when he got in trouble for the covering up his coach's domestic issue, and I was like, man,
a beaut?
Then so they suspend him, and I'm like, finally he's out of the news. I don't got to hear about it anymore. 2 weeks later he comes back, or however many weeks later, I'm gonna retire at the end of the year. Like I just feel like he can't keep his name out of it.
No.
But in the future, I've heard different sports talk shows talk about if Clay Helton doesn't do good at Southern Cal this year, that his name could pop up for that one.
Oh, jeez.
So you might be hearing a little more.
Well, that would be right up USC. That's right away. I think USC, something USC would pull to. They're two peas in a pod there.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't surprise me at all.
I was curious because I don't remember them all. What were your predictions for the NFL conferences?
The NFL conferences. I know in the North I had the Vikings winning that. All right, and in the East.
And what record?
10-6.
Okay.
And the Bears 9-7.
Okay.
In the East I had the Cowboys. In the South I had the Saints. In the NFC West, that would be
got to be the Rams, right?
It was the Rams, yes. Okay. It was the Rams. Now the wild card, I don't have the right in front of me. I can't tell you exactly. Now, AFC East, it's the Patriots. AFC North, I do believe I had the Browns.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I don't want to be one of those Kool-Aid drinkers or whatever else.
That's what I consider all these Browns fans.
I like Baker because here's the deal. Be who you are, man. If you want to come out there and be this guy that everybody loves, that's great. Or if you want to be the heel, the villain, go ahead and do that. I like that he came out and, but if he's got to go, he's got to go 100%. He can't say something about Daniel Jones and then turn around and act like it's not a big deal. Is the GQ magazine article that I'm referencing to, he's got to stick to what he says. But I'm not. It won't be like every week I'm watching the Cleveland Browns. But yes, I just don't know what the Steelers have left. That's all. And the Ravens, somebody's got to drop out. I unfortunately right now I have the Ravens at that situation because like we keep pointing out since '91, 4 teams don't make the playoffs the next year.
Yeah, I know that. I've always found that stat amazing because I've heard it the last couple of years, and it's just like every year you go through and you try to guess, and it's like, well, that looks too similar to last year. Yeah. So what do? I'm not really sure, but Cleveland though, I do like Baker. I just feel like if that team starts off 1-3 or something, it could go south really quick. I mean, with OBJ and Baker, and OBJ falls into kind of the Antonio Brown thing to me, and Baker's are probably a little less of that, but it's just it's a lot of show and it's a lot of talk until we actually get on the field.
I agree.
And then you go 1-3, 1-4. And the locker room starts getting divided, and then that's when I feel like things could go sour for them. But, I mean, I did have them at 8-8, so I don't have them really taking a dump.
So who do you have? You have the Steelers winning the division?
I got Steelers in the North, Titans in the South, but, I mean, I feel like you could probably flip a coin in that division.
South. First off, I don't know what it is with my problem with the Titans.
If somebody wins 9 games, they're probably going to win the division.
Yes.
Patriots is the obvious pick.
Easily.
Chiefs, I feel like the Chargers will definitely. I mean, the Chargers will hang with them, but I took the Chiefs in that one. So.
Oh, by the way, O.J. Simpson on Twitter went out on a limb the other day and said that now that Josh Gordon's reinstated, the Patriots are a favorite to win the AFC East. I'm sorry, to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's what O.J. said. Now that Josh Gordon's reinstated.
I was going to say in the East, that makes them the favorite.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would call them the favorites to win in the Super Bowl, but I do feel like
just represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's
O.J.'s not going that
AFC,
crazy. I mean, he's crazy, but he's not going to be that crazy.
But still, I don't know. I feel like Kansas City, New England, home field advantage is going to be huge if they end up playing each other again. I mean,
yes.
You're not trying to go to Gillette Stadium and play Tom Brady with the Super Bowl on the line. Like, it's not something you're trying to do.
Do you have Kansas City in the West?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Just like I said, it should be close. 1 game over the Chargers. Chargers will be good again this year.
So who do you like to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl?
Oh, and I had my Super Bowl preview, which I don't really do these, but I had a feeling you were going to ask me, so I did it anyway. Mm-hmm. I got Chiefs and the Saints.
Okay.
And then I got the Saints winning. It's going to be the Drew Brees comeback.
Drew Brees wins MVP.
The flag that they didn't get last year.
I'm telling you, look at the future line. That's what we need to look at. I like Drew Brees to win the MVP this year.
I think I seen on one of my offshore sites it was something like 16-1.
You need to drop that offshore. We're in a casino right now next to a sports book, and no more offshore dealing with Bitcoin or anything like that. We need to.
Do they offer that future here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they do.
We could go. You can walk over there right now and go find it.
Okay.
We had a break. Let me ask you, what do you feel about preseason games?
Preseason? I mean, it's practice football. I don't really watch it, to be honest. If there's nothing else on, like currently right now, I'm all over Little League, so I'm a big Little League World Series guy. So I don't need preseason football. But honestly, even like the stars that have been sitting out all preseason, Julio Jones was one of them that said he's not going to play preseason. If you're a vet in this league, you're 5-6 years in. I don't think you need it. I mean, it's a risk of getting hurt. Football is one of those sports too. I find it hard to watch. Not top-notch football. So when there's third stringers out there playing, it just gets sloppy and it's tough for me to watch.
I want everybody to stop watching preseason football because I want it to go away. And it's one of those things. I have this article today, and there's actually a lot more. 3 takeaways from the preseason ESPN. But part of it is like the NFL every year talks about shortening the preseason. Just do it. And the idea is to eliminate 2 of the 4 preseason games, move the season start date back 1 week, and then play 16 regular season games over 18 weeks, with every team getting 2 bye weeks. The idea of that is that would add another week of regular season football to make up for lost preseason TV revenue, while also potentially providing enough scheduling flexibility to give teams a bye before playing on Thursday Night Football. Another reason is Cam Newton's getting an MRI today. So who knows? Will Grier could be the starting quarterback week 1 of the Carolina Panthers. I don't know who watches this. I really don't. I had it on yesterday for white noise in the background, and honestly, the reason why I turned it on, because originally I thought I was turning it to Channel 4 WHBF to see if the tower was back on so I could watch Big Brother later on tonight, but it actually was on Channel 18 Fox, and I was watching the Ravens-Dolphins, something like that. So, again, I didn't pay attention at all. Let's go back to your Little League World Series.
Yeah, what do you need to know?
No, I mean, do you follow it because you would have been in high school when that team with Julian Vandervelde made the?
Well, Julian's a year younger than me.
Oh, so you were in 7th grade
I didn't
then.
go to the Little League World Series.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you know those guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I played ball with a couple of them in high school and that, but I've always been a huge fan of Little League World Series, and also now this is probably frowned upon, but there might possibly be odds on one of the sites that I'm on. So
I'm sure there's odds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know there is.
Yeah.
so that's been part of it. But I don't know. I always liked it. It's just like a wholesome game of baseball. They always try hard. I feel like it's pretty easy to read, and it's only 3 weeks out of the year, so it's really not like you got to dig all the way into it.
You're
But
not investing a lot of time.
well, and even you talk about it now, preseason football. I mean, MLB for me. I'm a huge Cubs fan, but it's hard for me to watch teams that aren't mine. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit down and watch a Rockies Padres game. It's just not going to happen. Not for 3 hours.
Okay.
So it's a slow sports time, and then Little League comes on. The games are only 6 innings or over an hour and a half. And
do you get intrigued? Will you turn it on if you get a notification and it's 7th inning and somebody's got a no-hitter going in there?
I would do that for sure. I mean, if you're gonna watch something historic, I'm definitely in on that. But
you got other topics for us? If not, I got a trivia question for you.
oh, go ahead, shoot.
All right, we'll do this on the Facebook.
Don't ask me anything from 1962 or anything.
I'm not going to do that. But, all right. Texas junior Sam Ellinger is one of 6 Power 5 QBs in the past 20 years to record 25 passing touchdowns and 15 rushing touchdowns in the same season. All right? One of 6 Power 5 QBs in the past 20 years to record 25 passing TDs and 15 rushing TDs in the same season. Can you name the other 5 QBs? They all won Heisman Trophy winners, okay? And 3 are currently on NFL rosters. So one more time. Texas junior Sam Ellinger is one of 6 Power 5 QBs in the past 20 years to record 25 passing TDs and 15 rushing TDs in the same season. Can you name the other 5 QBs?
You said 3 won it.
They all won Heisman.
All of them.
3 are currently
in the
on
league. Well, Lamar Jackson's got to be one of them.
Lamar Jackson is one of them.
Mike Vick.
Michael Vick is not one.
Wow, that surprises me.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield is not one of them.
Holy smokes, I'm about to struggle through the rest of it then. Oh, man, that's a good question.
Remember running and passing.
I'm struggling.
25
3
passing.
are in the league still. How about Vince Young?
No.
Did he even win the Heisman? I don't know. He stumps me on this. You got me. This is a good question. I'm probably freezing up because I'm on.
It's all right. One just played last night. Has an MRI today.
Oh well, Cam.
There you go. All right. So you got Cam Newton. You got Lamar Jackson. Quarterback. Let's give you a hint. Quarterback AFC South team. You've got them winning the AFC South.
Oh, Mariota.
There you go.
I should have known that.
No longer in the league. Currently playing in the New York Mets farm system.
Oh, Tebow.
There you go.
I should have known that one too.
And the last one, he is not in the league. He has played in the NFL, the CFL, the AAF, and probably will be.
Oh, Johnny Football.
Johnny Football is the other one. Yeah, that's the other one.
I feel like that was one of the questions I'd have probably known the answer if we were sitting at the bar drinking, but now I know I'm on Facebook and stuff, so now I don't know.
It's fine. This weekend, are you following anything this weekend for college football wise at all?
Oh yeah.
All right, you got Florida versus Miami, 6 o'clock Central game on ESPN. Florida's -7.
I'm taking. I had 7.5, but it's probably moved since then. But I'm taking the points. I feel like it'll be a little slugfest. Miami's kind of on the up and up. I feel like Florida's a little overrated coming off last year. I'm not a huge fan of their quarterback. I'm not saying Miami's going to win outright, but I feel like it's one of those games where maybe the winning team gets 23 points, so we might be looking at a 23-20 type game.
I get you. It's way too much for a rivalry game to be this big of it. 7.5 is a lot, by the way. in this situation. I think the 7.5 got moved up. Basically people looking at the 12 returning starters from last season's 10-3 team. But it says here Miami had the nation's highest adjusted sack rate last year. The other one, Arizona at Hawaii.
That one I actually feel a little more comfortable with. I like Hawaii. I had them at 11.
Okay.
Arizona's defense is pretty terrible. They do got their quarterback who was injured for a lot of last year. Khalil Tate's coming back.
Yep.
So this would be one, if you can manage to stay up for the 9:30 start, there will be a lot of points being scored. And, I'm pretty sure the over-under was at 74, 75.
I've got it 73.5, but yeah,
I don't know if I would take the over and go that high, but I think Hawaii can probably crack 30, so I think that they can cover. That would be my bet. I don't think that Arizona's going to score 40, so that'd be my play in that game. Actually, Hawaii does have a lot of returning players coming back.
They've got
from their
18
offense.
starters returning
Yeah,
from an 8-6 team, and their quarterback threw 36 touchdown passes last year. He was 6th in the nation.
Yeah, and he was hurt. He played hurt for a couple games. He had a serious injury, and he was still playing through it, and he's putting up good numbers. I think they have two wide receivers that are all conference preseason, I believe, that had, 8+ touchdowns last year. Their number one receiver is gone, but their two best receivers are back. So
Arizona is 6-0 all time against Hawaii and won the last meeting in 2016 by a score of 47-28. But I don't know where that is. Used to be back in the day. You bet on Hawaii on the mainland.
This game,
you bet against them on the mainland. You bet on them in the island.
Correct. So I don't know. Like you said, I don't know how many of those games were played at Arizona. I'd guess the majority of them, but this one I'm pretty sure is being played in Hawaii. So I'd take 11 there all day. Will you be playing any college football this weekend?
I like the over actually in that game. I don't want to take the points either, but I don't want to take the favorites. I'll stay away from the Miami-Florida game. I don't like Miami. I've got some weird grudge against them. It's not a gambling grudge or anything like that. It's just I don't know what it is. I just hate every year.
Don't like the U?
I don't like the U. I do like the U, the 30 for 30, both of them.
Well, yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I don't like the turnover chain. I don't like the talking heads that come on and they'll sit there and say oh, they got their swagger back, because in the end
there's a lot of you talking heads too.
I know, and then they end up getting knocked around, and then they go to end up 6-6 or 7-5 and play somewhere, and then they lose their game. But everyone it's all a lot of hype to me.
I do feel like this year they might luck out, and it could be they're back, which I'm not saying they're back, but the ACC beyond Clemson is pretty bad.
It's very bad.
So they're going to get a lot of chances to win games.
No, it's very bad. Look at your sheet. What all you got topics there? Little League World Series. What else?
This one I'm probably going to get made fun of, but
okay.
I seen recently on Facebook you play pickleball.
I do play pickleball. Yes, I was a pickleball champion in 1987, and
it was a good year for me.
I was in 7th grade. I was a pickleball pro. That's what it was called when you won your pickleball. I was partners with Scott Longville, and then the next year I didn't get to defend my title because I was sick the day of sign up or whatever, and my partner wasn't responsible enough to, so I didn't get to defend my title. And then it became a thing. They started building courts, and there's one not too far from our house. So I don't play competitively, and I don't play at the fitness center where I work out. They have something all the time every Friday, and I'm overwhelmed by the people playing there. So I just kind of stick it. I keep it more to myself and my friends.
Okay.
Do you play pickleball?
Actually, just me and a few buddies just started picking it up this year, and
this
then
is the best conversation.
Well, I live kind of further on the west end, so they built those ones at Northwest Park, so I've been playing there.
Yeah.
But you must live closer to Bettendorf Middle School. Is that
I
where
live,
it's at?
but there's one by an elementary school by where I live.
I went to the ones that over there and just looked at them, and they're pretty pristine compared to the ones we play on. But they're good enough for my game because I'm probably not that good.
They have some serious tournaments there or whatever, and they'll suck you in. They're
Oh, I know. I looked into it. They had one a couple weeks ago, but I didn't.
It's like a cult, man. They're you got to join in right now. They're right up there. They're like CrossFit and deck hockey. If you come sniffing around, they're gonna grab you by the hand and say you need to start playing right now.
Yeah, there's a pretty good group that goes there. Probably shouldn't say it, but they're older folks compared to me.
Yeah, they are. They know they are.
They do that. They do it all the time. You guys need a fourth, and then they jump in, and then we're just playing. But it's a good time.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'd rather play singles because I like to run around. The doubles thing, it gets too much for me. I don't know. All the dinking real close to the thing. But
yeah.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy pickleball though. It's a lot of fun. Can you share me any stories of some of your Give me some bad beats. Do you have any bad beat stories?
Oh God! How long does this show go?
See, this is the type of fun thing. This is what people want to hear. They don't want to hear.
Well, I'm trying to think of a couple bad. Well, like for example, I think I told you before the show started. I had the Cubs under when the Cubs decided to give up 7 runs in the 9th inning, and Bryce Harper walks it off on me. So that was a tough one.
Yeah.
One of the worst. It was not a bad beat technically, but it was probably 2007. I think the Chargers were playing the Steelers, and the Chargers had the ball. I'm down. I needed the Steelers to score again. There's 1 second on the clock. I'm not going to cover. They're throwing the ball around, doing the they're lateral, trying to score. Palomalu punches it out of the air, dives on it in the end zone. I'm like, oh my God, I covered. Like I didn't see it coming. And then they throw the flag because you can't bat the ball like that purposely.
Yeah, I've only had one-time situation where that ever went in my favor, and this was like years ago, where like Hail Mary, flea flicker type of thing went my way, and it was the Saints, and I couldn't even tell you who was playing it, and it had to be for the over. I mean, I can't even tell you who they were playing, but I remember where I was and who was with me, and it was just one of those, oh my goodness. But it's usually you're on the losing end of those ridiculous things, and you have that 1% of hope.
Well, yeah,
and then
that's all it takes in sports betting.
I know, but then it's crazy. But that's the thing people like to hear. The bad beats are always some of the best things. All right, so what else you got for me, Matt?
I was just curious. I think you covered it on a show previously.
Sure.
But what did you think of the Iowa alternate uniforms this year?
Those
bright gold.
My first reaction was no bueno.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I'm not too much where you say like you're a troll. I don't go out there and say like I hate this stuff or whatever else. I just was like no, and I really think it was the banana peels. There's 2 things I don't like. I never liked the banana peels, and that was Tavian's senior year. And I don't like the alternate Herky Tiger Hawk that Coach Ferentz brought in his first year. All right, those 2 are like.
Which one was that?
It looks like someone drew the Tiger Hawk in
like
yellow paint, and then they took a blow dryer and blew it at it, and it just it kind of just smears a little bit. So like, there's the 2 things that I'm not a fan of, and I don't know if it's because I was so. Still to this day, and it's kind of fun if you go back a year ago, 10 months ago or so, and you talk to Tavian, he was on our show, and you hear him actually when I say like I actually thought you were a better running back Central Shaw. I thought you got held back, and he's like, yeah, me too. And I really thought he was going to be like
Shaw was pretty good though.
I thought he was going to be the guy to be like, no, the coaches did what they need to do. He's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, oh, so like by that point, and you got to understand, Tavian's a year older than me. I went to high school with him.
Right.
So I was automatically had a grudge. And the senior year, he just went off. He was the fastest man to 1,000 yards in college football history at the time. He did it in 4 games. And then the year kind of went down. So I guess that's where the banana peels come in. But I do like they gave an homage to it. I don't care about the all yellow. I mean, I don't have a feeling either way. It's not like, oh, I mean, good. It wasn't until I saw the players' reactions that I was like, good for them. Good for them, because the players are the ones, instead of stick to that vanilla, the Coach Ferentz type of way, it was the players that went crazy for it. And it is for the kids in the end, So I really liked it because of that. It's the Ohio State ones, the 55-14, the all black ones. Those were good too. I guess I'm just traditionalist where I'm like okay with them either way, but that and to see the players' reactions with the tunnel and everything else, I think that's awesome to see their reactions. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on board. I could do without the banana peels, but who am I? What did you think?
I kind of started with you. I didn't really like them. I don't like the bright.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it. I don't like the Oregon style. I don't like changing it. But it's not. They weren't too bad. And I kind of agree too. Where the players' reaction was huge, because I do think doing that plays a part in recruiting. So
yes, I agree.
I'm not a huge fan of. I didn't really like the Ohio State ones. I'm sure people will be mad at it. I didn't like it. They made gray like a primary color. We don't wear gray.
Yeah.
I did like the ones that they wore, the matte black against Minnesota, and what was it, 16, whatever year they went undefeated, 2016, I believe, when they went 12-0.
What?
They were these matte
2015
black
year,
colored ones against Minnesota. Those are pretty. I like those a lot, but I don't know. I was just kind of curious about your thoughts on the yellow.
You know what? I'll be fine. Just don't mess with the Tiger Hawk.
Yeah, I agree there.
It'll all be fine. And who knows? Who knows if someday You know, I've heard this story one time, and let me know if you heard this. Anybody out there on Facebook? Because we're on Facebook now. We're no longer on ESPN 95. Somebody told me once that if you look at the Tiger Hawk, it is basically, it spells out, it's supposed to spell out Fry. Like, Hayden Fry made it.
Really?
So the head of the Tiger Hawk, you can see, if you turn it, you can see where it's an F, right?
Yeah.
And then the beak is supposed to represent the R, and then basically the neck, the gullet, is the Y.
I had never heard that before.
I heard this from a former University of Iowa athlete, and I thought this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And I've never researched this. I've never looked at
the former athlete's name Davian Banks?
No, it wasn't Davian Banks. No, it was a former University of Iowa basketball player, and we're at tailgate, and she was like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" And I was like, "There is just no way that you believe this." And she's like, "Yeah, and you can look at it." So what I'm trying to think is, you know that Hayden's got like, he's got ownership in the Black and Gold store, and he's got trademark in the.
Oh, I'm sure he's got plenty of money in that school.
He's got trademark in the Tiger Hawk. So I was wondering if there was this one situation where maybe Hayden went out, and parents came in.
Why they went with the
maybe
quick change?
Just for that year. It'd be interesting conspiracy-wise because they went back, but.
I do remember them wearing that slicked back.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like a guy with slicked back hair. That's what it reminds me of. And no, I wasn't a huge fan of that, but I had never heard that before. And
it is not, that version of the Herky is not allowed in my house. It is not, and seriously, like I won't wear a shirt, I won't, and obviously you'd have to find it now at like Goodwill or whatever else, but it is not allowed. You know, every once in a while you run into like a sticker at a store or something, and you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, no, never, never.
You're not going there?
But it's interesting to look into that, like, but I had heard that that's supposed to spell Fry, which is crazy to me.
I'll probably have a couple of adult beverages tonight and take a look at it and argue with my friends about it.
Go down the deep dark hole, and then you'll be sitting there on a bar nap, like drawing it out, like, look, it really does make sense.
What about you as far as the Big Ten West? What do you got Iowa at?
I got Iowa.
I know you took the over 7.5.
I've got Iowa. I'm no problem at all. I have no problem at all saying Iowa at 10-2, if not 11-1. None at all.
11-1.
Yeah.
Whoa. How much?
Go down. I mean, here's Michigan at the Big House. Okay. That's where I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. That's the one where I don't like it. By the way, I've been to the Big House. I'm not impressed.
I've been outside. I haven't been in there. But
so all right, Michigan.
You were in there for a game?
I was in there for a game in 2003, and I was not impressed at all. It's hard to say. It's just too big, but all right, it is. All right, let's take a look at Penn State. That's a win. All right, the Nordwestern one, it's possible. It's probably going to happen.
It's always possible. I mean, it seems like they lose to them all the time.
The Wisconsin's tough as heck, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I've been to Camp Randall.
Wisconsin, that's hard.
I've been to Nordwestern. I've been to Camp Randall. I love Camp Randall, by the way. That's where I could see, and Wisconsin's not good, but I could see a loss there. The Iowa State, I'm not going to I'm fine. I'll be bitter that entire week when they come out an underdog. I'm fine with you, Matt, saying that they're going to be an underdog, but I refuse to sit there and say about how great Iowa State's going to be this year, and they're not going to lose to Nebraska. So
I'd be curious. Well, so the two deeps are supposed to come out today for Iowa.
They are, yeah, you're right.
So I'd be curious if next time you're having Cakered on again before the season starts.
Yeah, I'll have Cakered on. Yes,
I'm just curious what he's seen or whatever from practice about their running back rotation.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I feel like they like to do the 3 people thing, and I don't know. I kind of like Young.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up the 2 deep right now. Let's see.
I wasn't sure what time it was going to come out. I was kind of searching for it before I was supposed to meet you here, and I didn't see anything yet. So.
No, nothing like that yet. Nice little thing from the University of Iowa. Notes about the Miami of Ohio. Things like we already know this. Espn named 4 preseason All-America first-team teams, listed on 6 preseason watch lists. QB Nate Stanley named a 6 preseason watch list, listed on preseason Big Ten third team by Phil Steele. Amir Smith-Marset is on the Paul Herning Award watch list. Hawkeyes lead the Big Ten and tied for second in the country last season with 20 interceptions. So over the last 2 seasons, no school has had more interceptions than Iowa in the Big Ten.
Well, I mean, they had King and Jackson almost took care of that themselves.
Going back to what you said, Iowa returns its 3 primary running backs from last season. Juniors Ivory, Kelly Martin,
See, not a huge.
Kai Sargent, and Torrin Young combined for 392 carries, 1,723 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns. 9 by Sargent, 5 by Young, 2 by Kelly Martin.
I feel like Ferenc is a big Sargent fan, and I'm just more of a Young fan myself.
Okay.
I mean, I don't dislike his style. I like Young. Young puts the pads down, goes forward.
Iowa opens its season under the lights at Kinnick Stadium for the first time in program history.
Well, have you seen the line on first time in history?
First time to open its season in program history. Iowa's hosted 18 night games at Kinnick Stadium, holding a. Can you guess the record in that's in those contests? It's
I have
arbitrary.
no idea.
It's 12-6. 12-6 in those contests.
I'm sure there won't be any tailgating going on before that opening night game. You
Iowa
seen the line on Miami, Ohio?
21.5, right?
Is that it? I haven't looked.
21.5. Iowa is one of 15 teams to win at least 8 games in every season since 2015. The Hawkeyes are 37-16th in 2015. Alabama, Appalachian State, Boise State, Clemson, Georgia, Iowa, LSU, Memphis, Michigan, Ohio State, Ohio, Oklahoma, Stanford, Washington State, Wisconsin are all on that list. Not bad company to be in at all.
No.
Head coach Kirk Ferentz has 152 wins in all games. Coached as a member of the Big Ten Conference, ranked 5th in league history. The top 5 include Woody Hayes, Amos Alonzo Stagg, Bo Schemblecker, Joe Paterno, and then Ferentz.
Because he's got to have with the longevity he's had.
Yeah. Oh, so we're right around there. All right. We went over the time, but I appreciate it, Matt.
Hey,
and
anytime. Thanks for inviting me.
Where can are you Facebook? Are you on Twitter, Instagram?
I'm on Facebook. You can Twitter me at Matt_Rod21. I'm all over. I'm on all of them. I got to troll people on everything. So
that a boy. Thank you so much for doing this and making
really
time, man. It's been a lot of fun.
It.
It's always good to shake things
Let's
up and talk a little bit. Yeah. Let's win some bets, and we'll do it again sometime. Just stay in touch with us.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome, man.
You know I'll be on the Facebook feed.
Perfect. Hey, thank you all for listening. You guys have a hassle-free weekend. Take care, Quad Cities. Enjoy yourselves.